Hello, 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 everyone. It's Kim from K&RP here in southeastern Manitoba. I'm here playing with Jane Peter today. She's going to teach me how she does watercolors. No, I don't want rules and regulations. I want to do it the way Jean does it because I love her stuff. It is currently -6 Celsius, which is it feels like -12 with the wind chill. So that's 21 degrees Fahrenheit, which feels like 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Yay! We're getting winter almost. Normally, it's much colder than this. So, Jean's here to show me her stuff, and I'm just going to make stuff up as I go along because that's the way I work. And here we go.
Oh, so I used to say the best thing I could do with watercolor was create holes in the paper. And I had a few lessons from a friend. This is what I like to do. I like to tape it off and play around like this. And I'll go through and do a whole bunch. And honestly, they're kind of ugly like this. But then when you pull off the tape, that's the whoa. But I'll do a lot of them that way.
Hi, Anne.
And sometimes I just tape off a big piece, and this one's actually ready to be unveiled. Okay. And it looks so much better that way. Hi, Anne. Hi, Jan. If you do have trouble pulling your tape off, hair dryer would help with that, or heat gun if you wanted. This is pretty cheap washi tape, so I actually have to force it to stay down. And as you can see, there's some mistakes, but I'll run a squiggly line around it, so it's all good. That's my favorite part, is pulling the tapes off. But I've done color blocking, and then I doodle on them. This one was more controlled watercolors. I did all the drawing and then went in and did the shapes. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe it's too big.
I could have maybe did the colors and then outlined them. And then this one I love to doodle with watercolor. I just think it's so much fun. And then there's one more. I don't know if it's got anything done on it. Oh yeah. Come on. This one I took a Stabilo pencil and went down and got it all wet, and then came in with some spots, and it's kind of messy, but I think I can pull it together to look cool.
That's the kind of thing I'd like to do. I've seen quite a few that style on Instagram, and that really intrigues me, with the masked off bit, and then they take a black marker and they scribble on it and put some dots, and then they paint it.
But see, I tend to just pull out a bunch of different papers. I do like the water. My mama drew this. Bless her heart.
Oh, it's lovely.
I thought this needed to have some something else. So I copied it and then tried doodling in the circles, and I didn't like it. So I'm going to keep it like it is. And then these are all just different backgrounds. And that's what I do. I'll make a ton of backgrounds, and then when I feel the need to, veg out on the couch, then I do. And they're just...
Oh, I like it.
This one is just the water color, and then I have the Tim Holtz sprayer thing because I tried doing it with the straw, and I'd get dizzy every time I did it.
Okay, yeah.
So, just play around. That's all there is.
Okay, we're here to play. I'm ready to play. Oh, I like that. Go back. I have to see that one again. No, flip that one out. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, that could be so much fun.
Ran dirty, but I didn't give up on it. Because, it may not be perfect, but if I take this little section right there, that'd be a cute little collage piece, So
would.
It's all potential. I don't give up on things. I have quite a stack of them, and then when I'm tired of having the stack, that's when I tear them all apart and cut them up into ATC bases.
Awesome.
So
Beauteous. Beauteous.
I love this one. I've decided I'm only going to doodle on the white parts.
That's what I was thinking. To leave the watercolor and then just doodle on the white. I don't know. I guess it's going to take some practice.
Yeah, it's not something that, works perfect every time. And even this one, I don't remember what I was trying to stamp. Hey, but the other side's just perfectly fine.
Perfect isn't in my vocabulary. You know.
Perfectly fine is a different word.
That's right. It's fine. And the thing is because we can see so many different things in it, we'll still use it in
Uh-huh.
something, right? Exactly. Hey, Sherry, welcome, welcome.
Thanks,
Jan,
Sherry.
Jan, I sent you a PM. I received your package today. It's beautiful and lovely, and we need to get together and play. Okay, I'm going to make us together again, and I'm going to show you what I pulled out because I just bought the watercolors this past week. So I bought these watercolors, still not opened, but I did it. I bought them. I don't have watercolor paper, so I do have. I've had. I've got packages of this poster board, Staples poster board. They come 5 sheets in a package. When I was teaching, I would use this stuff because it was fun. It's glossy on one side and it's sturdy. So I took 2 sheets and I cut them. They're not in half by any means. They're all different sizes. Don't care. We're playing. I'm learning. And then my daughter had said something about making me palettes where you put down the paint and you let it dry and then you've got a palette that you can use. So since I don't have any palettes, I was thinking really hard. And this is since I talked to Jean this morning and what when we were messaging Jean, that was what 10:30, quarter
Yeah.
to 11, some silly thing. So I was racking my brain. What can I use for a palette? So I've got lots of like CDs that aren't used. So I figured if I put the paint on the CD to dry, then I can mix on this. And then once it's dry, I can close it and I have a to go palette. And then I pulled out a whole bunch of what I assume I could use for watercolor because they're soft. I have no idea. So I'm ready.
I don't really know either. This is my, oops, I actually grabbed the wrong container of paintbrushes. It's not even paintbrushes.
You're fuzzy, Jean. I don't know why you're fuzzy, hun.
Oh, because it's all white.
Oh, there we go. A little bit better. Okay, that's clear.
Not really.
Well, it was clear up close.
I don't know. I don't know why it does that because I don't have autofocus on.
Ah, okay. I don't know if I do either. It is what it is. You know me. I turn it on. I can, I see myself, things, stuff. I'm good to go.
This is really bizarre here.
It is bizarre. Oh,
Usually my hand will fix it. But it's not. Bye, dear.
there we go. There we go.
We'll leave it there. We won't touch another thing.
All right. And I saw your master boards. I love them. I love them, love them. We're going to have fun come January. Not that we don't have fun now, but you know.
So what I did, I hate to tape up around this and mess it up, but I need to leave it there. So I just taped my edge because I like that edge. Oh. And then I'm just taking my tape. And I don't really measure. I sometimes kind of do with my mat, but not perfection. I don't care if they're crooked or backwards or no, I do care if they're backwards. But
okay, I've got green painter's tape. of a narrow variety. I'll do the edge.
Well,
Are you?
I bought some art tape because I couldn't find anything narrow.
Well, this is. I don't know what this is. It's good enough for what I'm going to be doing, I think.
Well, I don't like the feel of this, honestly, but
So I'm not right against the edge. It's going to be a little crooked.
I've been doing enough of these. I think I get it pretty straight by eye. I say that and then look at this one. It's way off.
You know, I'm learning, and as you say, if we're cutting it up and using it for various other things, good. If we're, I'm just playing to learn right now, and I
Well, I
just want to,
treat every piece as a masterpiece
yeah,
because you never know what you're going to use it for.
exactly.
But washi tape is really good on this too.
Oh,
Let
I
me
don't
get
want
and
to.
get my other paintbrushes, or just get the container paintbrush.
All right. Yeah, I don't. I'm just masking off, and she's got hers in sections. Okay, I'll do a couple of sections. Ah, I'm just going to fold those under. We'll see. Right away, I'm not doing. You know, you guys know the way I operate.
So these are my paintbrushes. Honestly, I just went through my paintbrushes and picked out the better, the newer, the softer, and they became watercolor brushes, so the kids can't use those.
Ah, nice. You know, I need like 8 hands to do this.
Yeah,
These are by no means equal or anything. I'm just
I like them not equal. I really do. My poor little lids are so rusty, but they serve their purpose. So
What do you use the lids for?
my water containers.
Oh, I've got a plastic cup.
I knock over plastic all the time.
Well, I'm gonna try and be a little bit careful. Famous last words.
So now there's a couple of different things I do. Sometimes I'll just wet the whole thing down. Sometimes I will um, spray it down. Just depends upon the mood I'm in or how wet I want. This is my favorite palette. This is by Prima. It's Tropicals. It's like under $20. It only comes with these, so there's a whole extra row that I have put in there, and I really like them. And then I have a lot of paint palettes because I just can't ever find the right colors. I'm not a mixer. I'm still hunting for the perfect turquoise. This was at Hobby Lobby. Every one of these tubes was $1, and
Okay.
they're Grumbacher or some other fancy name. And so I made my own little palette in the little tray. And the
Awesome.
funny thing is, some of them are hard like a paint palette,
Okay.
and some of them are still super soft, and I can actually stick my finger in it, and it's been,
Oh,
closed up for a while. So
all right.
anyway,
So,
um, what I usually do is I wet my whole palette because I never know what color I'm going to use.
okay.
And
Well, first
again,
I have to kind of make a palette. So you just take a tube and you just put little dots down. Is that how you do it?
uh-huh. What I did for this one is I just filled the little half pans because I had them. I had bought another set to do this and fill in some of these little gaps in this palette, and
Okay.
so it was cheapest for me to buy this large amount.
Right.
And so anyway, as you can tell, they're not all full, and they don't have, they're not smooth and even like a store-bought paint palette, but hey, that's okay.
Yeah. Nubby bit to put in a regular jar. The nubbies clean your brushes beautifully. Awesome. Brush washing things called paint pucks. The hold water have a silicone nubby surface. Those sound awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for those.
I
So,
use bar soap, so I just scrub my brush on the bar soap. You know, my brushes get kind of beaten. Hi, Pam. How are you today?
so one of the funniest things, one of my funny stories that I remember when you say wash the brushes. Um, when I was working at the bead store, it was called Beads and More, and it had we had had a long thing of painting furniture, and she had hired somebody to help us, and she was using my paintbrushes, and she came up and asked me. She says, "You wash your paintbrushes with soap and water?" And I thought that was the silliest question. I'm like, "Yeah. How else do you get acrylic paint out? You know?"
Yeah.
Anyway, it was silly then. So you can just put a little bit of paint on your palette. It's going
Well,
to be wet, and you're not going to have to use when you're using it out of the tube. It takes very little. Yeah,
like I'm trying to, just put absolutely minuscule
yeah, because
bits
it's going to be
down.
pretty intense because it's wet, and you're going to add water to it. So
I am. I am going to add some water. But like I say, this is a total learning experience for me. Yeah, and I can be really, really rough on brushes, except for my liner brushes. I really try and keep those well cleaned because I use my liner brushes a lot. You guys have seen me. I painted that entire cabinet with liner brushes, right? So it is what it is in my
I
house.
don't know what colors I'm going to use, so I've decided to put a little bit of water in every color, which I could have just sprayed it. It would have been much easier.
Yeah. Well,
And as I'm looking, I'm sure there's many of these I won't use, but you never know.
yeah, I'm just putting little thing of each color down on this CD, and my daughter says, "Well, if you," she wants me to get like a proper palette with little cuppy things like your trays, right?
Uh huh.
They're all going to run together, Mom. And so we're going to see what I end up with. If I end up with mud, then maybe I'll just do a series of trays.
Yeah, I don't know. You can go and buy a whole palette that can hold like 40 or 50 paints, and you just squeeze it in each little well. And
Okay.
they don't move out like this. They're not crazy expensive.
Okay.
And
Ooh, that's lots.
you can just, that way you've got your paint, and then you can pull it out from the well to
Yeah.
mix. You might like that,
Yeah,
especially.
that's kind of what I was looking for, but I don't have anything like that in the house. I have egg cartons, like styrofoam egg cartons, but I thought that I've used egg cartons with acrylic paints, and they are um they suck up water, right?
Oh,
Like they're not, they get stained, let's just say. And
you know what else you could have used? Like a ceramic dish. This one I bought for watercolors,
yeah, I was looking for one of those. I don't have those in my house.
or a plate.
Well, I thought of using like a dinner plate, but you know, I just figured that if I did this, I can just take it with me. I can take it upstairs. I don't have to take everything. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I'm going to try this, and if it works, bonus. If it doesn't, well, we've learned something.
So I'm going to wet this down with a brush because I don't want it soaking wet.
Okay.
And I'm going to wet like one section at a time.
Okay.
Well, that was two, but And
Okay. So
then
Do I want to use a big brush like this? Is that going to be too soppy, or should I use a much smaller brush like this?
That's your choice. I go with the big one so I can get it wet, but not. I feel like a little one is going to get me more strokes, and so it's going to get wetter.
Okay. Yeah, but my sections are pretty small, right?
Okay.
I just okay, first one's wet. Now what?
So now all I'm going to do is pick my color. I go in with a wet brush,
Okay.
and I'll almost always, not always, but almost always, I'll get my color, and I'll come over here and I'll mix it in a spot. I, I went with an area that was already kind of turquoise, and I
Okay.
usually have a second brush that just sits in the water so that I can come over here, add water to it. Like, oh, you can't see that. Sorry. I can just get some water and just add it like that so I can get it even thinner if I want it.
Yeah.
Or if I want to
Yeah.
continue mixing with this brush, I can pick up another color with this one and put it in there.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that. Okay. Okay. I can dual hand paint.
and then after I've got it and I want it pretty runny for the splotchy looking thing, I just come in here and I don't paint. I bounce. Just call me
I can't see
Tim.
you. I can't see you bouncing, hun. Oh, you're bouncing? Okay, you're bouncing. See, that's not wet anymore. A little bit wet.
Hush. And because my brush was already wet, I'm picking up some of these other colors on my palette just to get some variance in colors.
Oh, I just went the wrong way.
And I usually have two paint waters
Okay.
so that one is always clean. Not that that matters, but I try.
Yeah, my water's already mucky.
And so I
Anybody else
want,
playing with this? Anybody else playing with us? Please play.
I had a favorite in one of my palettes of a turquoise, and it's taken everything in my power to find something that's close, and I'm still not there. So what I'm doing now is just bouncing around and putting paint. I like to leave white spots because I feel like that gives me a design element, and then I try to get them to bleed and blend.
Yeah.
And you can do the whole page in the same color scheme, or you can do them in different colors. Or I tend to start with like this, and then I'll take this blue and I'll come down here with the blue. And now I'm going to add in some purple. Is there purple in here?
Oh, see, I got colored water.
And if I have happened to have wet down the whole thing, I just go from one spot to the other and I paint right over my tape.
Okay.
See, and I splattered there. Doggone it. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so my paper underneath is starting to bow up on me. So I think that's a little bit on the really wet side. So I'm going to move on to another section. So when you're doing this, do you that one's entirely covered. You say that you like to leave some white spots.
I do.
I'm,
I like the design element when I doodle on it with the white spots.
that makes sense to me. So I'm just going to try this. I'm just learning, guys. We're playing here. I'm not getting the two-handed brush thing. You're giving it a try? Awesome, Jan.
And I used to just use it straight from the palette,
Yeah,
never mixing anything. And now I use these all the time. And I use that little tray because I want some other colors in there.
yeah,
And I don't like just one color anymore.
that makes sense. I got some mud happening down at that bottom corner. I see. It's kind of purpley, but kind of really muddy. I've been watching Joni. She's been, well, I haven't watched her, but she's been doing flowers and she's doing some beautiful, beautiful flowers.
She is. She's doing some really amazing stuff.
So, you know me, I love my florals. Jean has a cold again, guys.
Well, I'm not 100% sure if it's a cold. Um, I felt, of course, you always feel worse in the morning and in the evening,
Yeah.
But I got a box of stuff that somebody had put some of that fabric softener that you put in the washer, the
Yeah.
crystals,
Yeah.
and forgot to take it out.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, I have never had anything kick my butt like that did. It it
Well,
was it was bad.
well, they say that fabric softener is actually very, very toxic. Very toxic.
And so I'm not really 100% sure that it's a cold or
Yeah.
a reaction for that. But I'm taking the NyQuil and the DayQuil just to be safe.
Well, I'm just going to end up filling these all the way in. I haven't got the thing up for where to leave white.
That's okay. You don't have to leave white. I mean, that's just, I can only show you what I do. I can't show you anything else.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing. I see. I didn't even put water on that one. I'm just adding stuff to it.
Well, if you like it to blend and bleed, that's when you want the water. But you
Well,
don't
these
have,
are pretty wet. Pretty darn wet. See, the very first one, it's really buckling. I used a lot of water. I don't know how well you can see the buckle.
yeah.
It's pooling at the corners. This one isn't quite as wet. So I think I'm getting a little bit better hang of that. It's not blending quite as smooth as yours does, but I'm sure that that's going to come with practice. And then this one, I just used a couple of colors, and I think that it's working out. Kind of like the way that's coming out patchy.
I like patchy. And you can always blot it with a tissue.
Oh, I can. Okay. Yeah, and I can't do scented products. I really, really can't do scented products.
Well, I've been looking for something to do for my beads that would harden them
Yeah,
really well. And I found something, and all the reviews were good. And as far as not stinking,
yeah,
and I tried it today, just a few beads because I didn't want to ruin my beads. Not that that matters. I paid more for the the material than the beads cost to make,
yeah.
But anyway, I it doesn't stick.
Okay,
It smells like glue.
okay.
If it's really wet, Kim, you can hold it up and let it run. And
Yeah,
there's the
no,
dribbles in there
yeah, I
too.
got one this side that's runny. These ones I blotted. And of course, I don't know if you saw my video that we did. I did Wednesday because I didn't have internet Tuesday, but we were making master boards. And so I tried using that honeycomb shaped pot holder. I put paint on it and used it as a stamp on
Uh huh.
the napkin guts, right?
Uh huh.
So I'm using a napkin gut to blot this. because I've got plans. We're doing a whole bunch of different collage things this coming year, and that's going to work out absolutely lovely. I'll take another, not necessarily this, but something, and I'll stamp it on top of that, and I think that'll be lovely for collage.
Mm-hmm. This one is this paint palette was called Graphites.
Oh, I like that, and I'm not one for those neutrally browns and things, right?
Me neither, but I'm trying to open up my color palette. There's
Yeah,
more to life than pink, purple, turquoise, yellow, and orange.
yeah.
I don't even use blue, and I don't use regular green. It's got to be lime green, and you know. Sometimes I wonder about myself.
I feel the same way about myself, Jean. I think it just
Not that I care.
no.
I
I,
just
I
wonder.
yeah. I think that I need the richness of color because our winters are so long and there's so much white that I have
Yeah.
tried airbrushing the snow. I have tried, you know, I have a hard time with white. So
But I like white a little bit. Yes,
I like
Pam,
black and white.
I am using watercolor paper.
I like black and white. I'm not, you know,
And one time, and I won't do this again, but I marked off all my paper so that I could just do the whole big sheet of watercolor paper into ATCs.
okay.
I'd rather just do a big sheet and cut it up.
Yeah.
It was way too much work.
Yeah.
I could see where white could be depressing if everything is white all the time, everywhere you go.
Well, I mean, we get so much snow, right? That it just it's blinding. It's boring.
Yep.
Winter white depression. Yeah. Well, we get sun, Anne. The one nice thing about Manitoba is we get sun in wintertime. It's not always just um, cloudy. We do get some lovely, lovely.
We've had 4 days of drizzling crap.
Ooh, I can see how that would be brutal.
I'm going to check my mail because there's supposed to be a package there.
Oh, I like the way it runs into each other.
Oh, it didn't show up yet. Just more Medicare stuff. Oh my gosh.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm waiting for mail from the post adoptive registry to find out the names of my birth parents. So I've been watching the mail pretty closely this past week or so.
I didn't realize you were adopted.
Yeah, well, actually, I was scooped. Um,
You were what?
Scooped, part of the scoop where they took the babies, Aboriginal babies from their mothers. I was the youngest of four. So they said she had too many kids and removed me. So I know who my birth mother was. Like I've got half, or could be full brothers, one brother and sisters. but um, I'm not sure who my father was.
Wow. You were taken away from your parents?
Yeah, Aboriginal, like it was part of the whole trying to squelch the Aboriginal teachings and things, right? Like they weren't allowed to have more than so many kids. They removed them at birth and sent them away. What's really weird is I actually grew up within 10 blocks of my birth siblings, and we may have crossed paths. I have no clue. We had to have crossed paths because my sister, who's 3 years older than I am, actually knew friends of my mom's, and her son actually played hockey with Ron's best friend's little brother.
Wow.
So us not crossing paths was very, very strange.
I just I'm just floored with being scooped up as what you're calling it. I mean, that
Well,
just
it was known as the 60s scoop, but I was born in the late 50s. So it started way back then. And they just removed babies from Aboriginal women. They just took them away. Yeah, like the kids they took and put in residential schools. Yeah, and I have no idea how hard that would be. Uh, it just brutal, brutal, brutal. So anyway,
and
because
this wasn't that long ago.
no, residential schools finished in 1997, I think was the last residential school date.
What's a residential school?
That's where they took all the kids from the reserves and they put them in residential schools, and it caused so much trauma to those kids. They were sexually abused, they were beaten, they were um, it was almost like an indenture. They did all kinds of different testings on them for different foods, and they used them as guinea pigs for a lot of things. So many kids they wouldn't let them use their language. They cut their hair. Um, yeah, brutal.
Oh my God.
Exactly, and exactly. They were even sent here to Canada, and they were known as home children. Yeah. So anyway, I'm waiting to find out because I'm eligible to get what's called a Métis card, so that I get some um, benefits from having the Aboriginal blood. My sister and brother,
Okay, I'm going to be stupid. What do you mean by Aboriginal?
Native, Indian,
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to.
Indigenous. Um, so because they tried, well, I mean, you guys have heard about your walk of tears and, whatever. Like, same thing happened in the States. In a lot of cases, there were a lot of residential schools in the States. Now that they're finding all those babies and children that were buried on at the residential schools. I mean, there was one school here that had 215 graves. Exactly. Exactly. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Children are vulnerable, right? So it's just so easy to do that. So anyway, um,
I guess
my
I need to
my
learn
sister
my history better.
my sister and brother have what's called a Métis card, so that um, there are some programs that are eligible to people with native backgrounds for education, that kind of thing. So it would benefit my grandkids, that they could get more education if I have that card. Yeah, slave labor and abuse, definitely, and definitely.
Well, my daughter-in-law gets ended up getting pretty much a free education because of the amount of Indian in her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so her kids should not ever have to have a problem with education. They should be able to
Which is
be.
awesome. Which is awesome because I've got friends who are residential school survivors, and that's one of the biggest causes of the substance abuse that they have is because they're blocking the trauma, right? They don't know how to be a parent. They don't know their culture anymore. They were abused so severely um, that they took to drugs and alcohol. And so, how do you know how to be a parent if you didn't live with your parents and this is what you grew up with? How do you, you know? So, anyway, it's
Wow.
just devastating.
And I'm
Devastating.
just waiting for a little hairbrush. You're waiting for your whole life.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, nobody knows who my father is. Like, because
Have
my
you,
sister,
have
three
you
years,
met your birth mother?
my birth mother passed before I met my siblings. And the only reason that they knew that I was, well, no, my sisters knew that I had been taken, whatever you want to, you know, I was
Yeah.
adopted out because they found my bassinet, like from the hospital. They found the card from the bassinet from when I was born. So it had like my birth name on, which my adoptive parents changed. Um, I had wonderful adoptive parents. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't abused or anything. It's just, there's things I'd like to know. Things I'd like to know.
Well, absolutely. Well, I'm
No, it's not
sorry
taught in school,
that.
and it's not taught in school. So yeah. Anyway, it used to be where you had to. When I first found my birth family, Jan, was it about 20 years ago now? A bit more than that. 30, almost 30 years ago, actually, I found them because my mom was still alive and she's been gone since 95. So, anyway, um, I had to fill out these forms and po- apply it at the post adoption registry. And the only way I would be able to find anything out about my birth family was if they too signed up for this program. Otherwise, everything was sealed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, after my birth mother passed, um, my sisters found that card, and my one sister applied, and we were connected. She was actually surprised that it was very, very quick. But I mean, I wanted to find my birth family. I wanted to thank my mother for giving me a chance. I didn't know what her circumstances were or anything, but instead of having an abortion or whatever, I wanted to thank her for my life. But she was already gone. And so I met my brother and sister that live in Winnipeg. And then I met my sister that lives in Alberta. But I still feel weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where I belong in life, you know?
Yeah.
I can't really explain it. I really can't explain it. Okay, so I've got stuff drying here. We're not sure what this is going to be.
I love it when it runs. That's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah, I think I'll just a little drop of water on that just to get that to move. I think this is what I found most fascinating about the watercolor. It's because I can't get this effect with acrylics, right? Because
Right.
they don't
One of
run.
my other favorite things to do is just to put down a circle or an oval of water
Yeah.
and then just drop colors into it.
Okay, let's try that on this piece. Yeah,
and let it
yeah,
go.
exactly, Anne. There's a hunk of me missing, and I used to watch people's faces all the time, because I had no clue, no clue. But I did that ancestry.ca thing or whatever it is, and evidently I've got another half brother that isn't by my mother. So I don't. Anyway, I'm waiting. Can't wait. It's been months since I filed the paperwork, and they sent me an email stating, wanting my actual mailing address so that um, they could send me out the information. But I thought I'd provided that in the paperwork, but I guess not. So I'm hoping it's coming soon to a mailbox near me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't done one of those ancestry things only because I'm actually afraid of what I might find.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm going to take whatever I find with a grain of salt. Like, I am who I am. I have, you know, the really weird thing was growing up, like, we never knew that I had native blood, right? And I always,
So your adoptive parents didn't know this whole story about you.
nope, did not.
Wow.
Yeah, Sherry, like, it's weird because the sister that I grew up with, um, we're raised middle class, white middle class, right? Listening to what my birth family went through growing up, like we're different, right? But my adopted family, my dad was of Ukrainian ancestry and my mother was British. And then you get this kid that hates shoes, hates the city. I'm sure they found it very difficult living with me because I had a very hard time conforming into. So I don't know. I just anyway. I feel like I'm walking in two worlds. I don't know where I belong. All's good. All's good. I have my kids and my husband, and you know, I don't
I
know.
don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to think. That just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, one of my nephews from my birth side, his wife is 100% native, Aboriginal, Indigenous, and so he's mid 40s now. But when she was a teenager, she had a child and they removed it right at the hospital. Right at the hospital. Said she was not able to be a mother because she was a, you know, teenager and they took the baby right then and there.
Oh, wow.
And that was in the 90s. Yeah, it was in the 90s. So, yeah. I don't know. Happy news. Let's talk happy stuff now.
Well, um, I have a cousin who was adopted out. She's now in our lives. The story of how she was found or became part of our lives is quite unusual. She went to the courthouse with her, um, she knew her birth mother's name,
Yeah,
and she went to the courthouse with her birth mother's obituary out of the paper. That's all she had.
yeah.
And in the records department, the girl that she talked to said, "Let me check on something." She went to the other room, called my mother, who was working one floor up, and told her, read her the obituary and all of that. Um, and then my mom came down and introduced herself, and that's how they first became part of our family, or
Cool.
she became part of our family.
Cool.
Uh, the basic brief outline of her story is my Aunt Joanne got pregnant, and the guy was a part of the picture, but he took off to go tell his family in Arkansas about her, and he was killed in a car accident on the
Oh,
way.
oh my.
And this was like 60s, or I mean 60, 61, somewhere in there. And my grandfather wasn't going to let her have be an unwed mother, so he sent her to Dodge City, Kansas, to have the baby, give it up for adoption. The baby was adopted by somebody from Hoisington, Kansas, which is 9 miles from where the whole family lives. My two of my cousins went to school with her, and they were buddies.
Oh,
And she worked at the grocery store, and there was something about her. My mom always went to her register when she was working because she just said there was something about her. And this was all prior to us finding out she was our cousin.
wow. That's interesting. Yeah. Yes, and government control like that is horrible. Absolutely horrible. And it does still happen in places today. Your dad's cousins revealed that the wealthy, prominent uncle adopted two children, which we knew, who were the illegitimate children of his brother that you didn't know. Yeah, it's amazing how that kind of thing happens. Yeah, Sherry, I get it. Like it's rough. It's definitely rough.
So I just made 3 trees.
Oh, nice. I am trying dots of some sort. Not sure what these dots are going to be, but it's okay. I'm having fun.
I can show you a secret step to that. Just hang on, let me get
Well,
the.
I tried doing that round thing with the paint, put it, and then put
Uh-huh.
color on the inside. I tried that. That's what this one is. So it's much
Oh, okay.
neater than these ones. I saw that on Instagram
Yeah.
back in the 20s. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing the stuff that went on in the past and what was acceptable and what was not. There were thousands of babies taken, scooped in the 60s. Mine look like donuts. Ooh,
Don't
they need,
say donuts. Every time I hear that word, I want donuts.
they need sprinkles. Yeah, it's a funny, Gene. My brother was here yesterday. I think that's probably why I'm kind of in this mood thinking of, anyway. Um, they were going to see the Christmas lights. We have this place where they have our yearly fair, and they do these incredible Christmas light um, display. They've got huge. You drive through. It's a drive-through thing, and they have Christmas music playing. You get hot chocolate, whatever. So he was going there last night. So I said to Ron, we should go tonight. And then I'm thinking, wow, wouldn't it be nice to have donuts while we were driving through there? So I probably have donuts on my mind too.
Somebody said donuts. Oh, my daughter is doing the twins second birthday with the donut thing because that's
Oh,
their favorite food.
nice. Nice.
I was like, um, ever since she said that, I think that was like Friday night. I told um, Gary does most of the grocery shopping. He does most of the cooking too.
Yeah.
But I told him I want donuts. Well, he didn't get any. He said, but I'll go get you some in the morning. So before the auction started, he went and got me donuts.
Awesome.
I was so excited. I love donuts.
I am not really a sweet fan. I prefer savory to sweet. So, yeah, donuts. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, and that's the thing. Don't know the bloodlines, right? See, a lot of the Scoop children were used as farm slaves and that kind of thing as well, right? They were sent to families who raised them on their farms and anything to deny them their culture and that kind of thing. But the really, really interesting thing is in the 80s, my sister lived in the next block to me. We lived in townhouses, and she lived in the set of townhouses next to us. And we had no clue whatsoever. Her kids, my kids were much younger than hers. Um, just very, very strange because that's the sister that knew my mom's friend. She's the one whose son played hockey with Ron's best friend's little brother. Like so many instances where we could have crossed paths and we didn't. Just weird. Just weird. Okay, this one's dry. Now what?
Now you can just doodle all over it.
Just doodle all over it.
I just grabbed one that I'd already started, and all I do is I find a spot. I always put a circle in it. I don't know why. If that's me, that's what I choose.
Yeah.
And then I just doodle, and I like to make them go into the next uh,
So
page. So
you're
that
using pen and ink. Can I
uh,
use like a gel pen?
yeah.
Pen doesn't always go over nicely, though, right?
Um, most pens work pretty good on watercolor. There you'll find some that won't, but most do. Really, I have had pretty decent luck with most
Okay.
of my pens on watercolor.
Okay. So,
Sometimes my fountain pen gets a little scratchy, but
yeah,
it still works really good.
yeah. So now if I took this Sharpie and I scribbled, do you do that?
I don't use a Sharpie very often, but that's just me. Mostly because that's something the grandkids like and they take off with them.
Ah, okay. Let's just try this. Let's just do.
See, I have so many of them already painted up and ready to doodle on. It's crazy. I didn't know there was this many.
All right. So I've got scribbly lines. You want donuts? You can't even eat them. Yep.
And I think what's really cool is if you look at your piece and you've got the scribbly line that makes no sense, and then you got this doodle thing on it in one place and another, and then when you pull the tape off, it's like, wow. What am I going to do with all these? I have no idea. Do I care? No.
I know. I'm the same. Oh well. I made 3 more masterboards, 4 more masterboards after my live, and I like masterboards.
I don't really use them, so
Well, I use them because I like having them for backgrounds for things, right?
ooh, that was pretty.
Oh, I like that.
Sometimes I even surprise myself. So I have plenty to work on. I really. But this, it's all. it's all done. So all I have to do is take the stack of papers and my black pens because I don't usually doodle with anything but a black pen
Yeah.
on these anyway. I even tried. Here's some more of my watercolor doodles. I just
Oh,
did a
I
lot of.
love those.
I love this. Well, I went into the idea of trying to find some new colors. Trying, it doesn't jump out as like, oh my God, that's gorgeous, like this one does. I love this one, but I
Yeah.
don't dislike this one. It's just, different colors for different people. And then so I wanted to do something in blacks and grays. So I pulled
Yeah.
up
See, I
it.
like black and white, or I like vibrant colors.
And
See,
this one, I just put the tape on it. And then when I had it all doodled up, I didn't like the white there. So I just did the teeny doodles in there. So, but,
yeah.
I have a ton of these different little pads. If I go somewhere and I don't have one, then I pick up one so that I've always got something to work on.
Yeah.
I don't like to sit still. By
No,
the way,
I'm the same way. See, I've got book pages that I stamp things on, and I take that and my gel pens when I go out and I
yeah,
doodle on them.
Pam, my YouTube is just Jean Peter Artist. I don't have a lot on there. I
Oh,
do,
it
but
should be in my description box, Pam. I'm pretty sure I've got Jean's.
hang on. It's time for a dose of no, Dayquil.
Oh, all right. So I've got some black scribble lines. Let's make some of them thick. You know what? I don't have my glasses on. I have no idea what I'm doing here, guys. No idea.
There's been times I've even done my doodles with plain old ink pens.
Yeah, I used to doodle with ink pens all the time, but I was in school.
I have every kind of pen, pencil, paint that you can think of, and the grands pick up the black ink. They want a
Yeah.
black pen. And see, I like to, part of the reason I leave a little white and I like the definition of color between them is because I like to outline the shapes.
Yeah.
And I bounce all over my page. I will draw up here and then I'll draw down here and then.
Yeah. I do that too as a rule.
I'm probably the most unpredictable person.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, I do see a lot of similarities between us.
I get to be the evil twin.
I just can't get you to do the two lines yet, huh?
I did. I did something the other day. I said Jean would be proud of me. Can't remember what it was, but I did more than like. Yep. What was it, guys? Do you remember what I did?
So for the next 2 weeks, I just ordered to change the subject here. I just ordered my last Christmas presents today.
Excellent.
And for the next 2 weeks, I am retired.
Awesome. You just playing?
Yes, I've got a new couch coming. I could be lucky and have it here by Christmas because they said 4 to 6 weeks. But I bought it like Black Friday sale, so chances are it won't be, but maybe. So
Yeah,
I've got house things to do and just stuff
yeah,
that needs to be done.
yeah. I've been painting door casings. I did 4 of them. My shoulder is still aching. My hand was aching one day, and now it's my shoulder. I'm just a miserable witch. So I'm trying to find things that are not too strenuous. I mean, it didn't help that yesterday I figured it's my job. Well, it isn't my job, but it's my job. I've taken it upon myself that I'm the one that shovels our deck. Our deck is 16 by 20. The snow that we had last was really, really wet and heavy. So by the time I shoveled it, I had to kind of chop at it a little bit.
Uh huh.
So I did that yesterday and I vacuumed, and my shoulder was giving me gip before I even started that stuff. And then, of course, my brother was coming. I invite him for supper, and he always comes for lunch as well. It's just what happens. So, well, I don't see him very often, right? Like, we don't live that far apart, but we really don't see each other very often. Um, so anyway, I had to make lunch and supper, so chopping veggies and stuff. So yeah, my shoulder isn't the happiest, but it is what it is. All right. So I've got big fat thick lines, and so do you use white gel pen sometimes on them
I
too?
do. I do
Oh,
sometimes.
now
I like, especially in the darker parts, I like to add a little bit of white. I probably won't while we're on because I would have to get up to go get them.
I see. So I just put the lid down, and look, it smushed the paint. I'm going to have 2 palettes to play with. I think this is a cool idea.
Cool.
We'll see. We'll see how well this works. This is an experiment, guys. It's just a you know I bought one of those boxes of CDs, so like 25 different CDs
Yeah.
or whatever, 25 or 50, something huge box. I got it at Costco, and then your kids stop using CDs, and you don't use CDs, and so I've got all these blank CDs. So I don't know what I'm going to do. All right, so let's do some pen and ink stuff.
So have you sent me my little wooden block yet?
I didn't send you a little wooden block. Was I supposed to send you a wooden block?
No, I just think they're super cool.
Oh, those ones that you stack?
No, that right there, the pink thing.
Oh, you know what? I could have shoved that in. I sent you a wooden butterfly. You can doodle all over it. Make it
Oh,
pretty. It is painted, but it would be really nice to have doodle on. So you're just using black. I'll just use black as well, and then I can use some white.
this is my favorite pen. It's
That's that fountain pen, isn't it?
Yeah, it's made by Platinum, and I took both of them on vacation, so I didn't have to take a refill.
Right.
And when I got home, I thought I'd lost one, and I ordered another one. Now I have three.
Oh,
That's
I'm
okay.
I'm done um, purchasing stuff. I purchased wooden hearts because the pharmacy in the next town has a wall where local artists, craft people can sell their stuff. you set up for a week and it's free. It's like 2 feet by 6 feet tall. So she asked me if I wanted to have stuff in there again. I said, sure, why not? So I want to do a whole bunch of like the little birds that I crochet. I've got the bodies done. I just have to do the wings and tails, etc. But I thought that since it's the second last week in January with Valentine's Day coming up, I could sell them as lovebirds. So I bought wooden hearts to use for the beaks.
Mm.
So I'm going to make up a bunch of lovebirds and see if I can sell them. We'll see. I have no idea what I'm doing here, guys. We're just playing.
And that's the way it should be. And then when you're done, you pull off the tape and you'll go, oh, wow, I did that.
Oh, good, Pam. Good. Glad you found that.
I wish I knew if this cold was just a side effect of the smelly stuff or a real cold.
Yeah. I learned something very interesting yesterday
What's that?
that for rheumatoid arthritis, you can get chemo treatments to help deal with the pain.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But you will still have the possibility of losing your hair.
Yeah. I bet you could.
Because my friend Terry had chemo twice. Although they never said she had cancer, it was for some tumors that she had that she needed to um, shrink. I mean,
Okay.
they weren't cancerous, they had been tested. And she had it twice. She had an problem.
Okay.
And they ended up, I mean, she lost her hair both times. Come back beautifully curly, but she hated it.
I just thought that was very interesting. Yeah. Oh, oops. Hmm. Not this poster board is so shiny. This pen is not. It has to be really loaded in order for it to write.
Oh, no.
It's okay. I just have to go slow.
Yeah, that's sometimes I find that with my fountain pen too. I always have a scrap of paper to make a couple lines on so that I can kind of like unclog it or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my. It's definitely being.
So this new substance I found for my beads is really thick,
Okay.
and
Is
you
it
can't really dip
Oh,
them, which is what I was hoping for. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I honestly, it feels like it's just Mod Podge. I mean,
okay.
I don't know. It definitely smells like glue. So,
So is it like porcelain used to be, but not?
um, no, this is called Fabra, like fabric, but Fabra brick.
Okay.
And it wasn't expensive. In fact, the reason I tried it, it was one of the cheaper hardeners that I had found. But I don't know if it's supposed to be that thick. It says if it gets too thick or separates to just shake it real well. But there's not enough room in the bottle to shake it.
Really?
It's that full. So I don't know. I thought about pouring some out and then just trying to see if I could shake it up. I did try brushing it on, and it wasn't bad.
Okay.
But
That takes a lot of time, especially if it's thick. Your brush is going to goop up pretty fast.
yeah, so I'm not really sure. I don't want one of those that smells to high heaven.
No, no. Got any exciting plans for the weekend, anyone?
Not a damn thing.
Nice. I don't really either. Oh, I do have news. I am going to be part of Raul and Miriam's New Year's stream. So on December 31st, my usual Sunday time is 12:45, but Central, but it's going to be 1 o'clock Eastern, so that's 12 o'clock Central. So I will be doing something on. I've got a 2 hour time slot for the live cookies on Sunday. That's awesome, Jan. I didn't. The only Christmas baking I did was I made meringues.
Oh, yeah, I gotta make banana bread this week too.
Ah.
If I don't, they're probably not gonna let me come back.
Do you put chocolate chips in your banana bread?
I don't because the grandkids love it so much, and I figure at least it's kind of healthy this way.
Yeah, understandable. What kind of cookies are you baking, Jan?
I wanted to make candy too, but I'd rather do art, and none of us need the candy, so
Yeah,
I haven't done much of anything. I did carve some stamps for Carved December.
I saw that.
They're not quite what I wanted, but they'll do. And I'm not done. I want to make some more that kind of all interlink.
Okay.
So we'll see how that works. I screwed one of them up. I wanted to make just wiggly lines on it, but I didn't leave the frame around it. So then the other one I had cut the same shape because I was going to do two alike, two different patterns, but two the same size.
Right.
Well, it had to stay solid because I needed a solid color to give an outline. So it's a two stamper now.
Ah. Shortbread and snowballs. How do you make your snowballs, Jan? My mom always used mashed potatoes and icing sugar and then just whipped it up and made balls out of it. Do you use mashed potatoes, or is there actually another kind of recipe that? Oh, blob. Black blob of ink. It's okay. Trying to fill in the littlest spaces, and then I don't know what I'll do in the big spaces.
Sometimes it's hard to just leave things, but I do try sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't succeed at that either. So lots of lines. I just do lots of lines and dots.
Yeah. Graham crackers, icing sugar, cocoa with vanilla, and roll in coconut. Okay, so that's almost like the way I do rum balls.
Well, you ruined it with the coconut.
You don't like coconut?
Nope, I will eat coconut in one thing and one thing only. That's
Coconut
in,
cream pie?
huh?
Coconut cream pie?
No, Italian cream cake.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
It is. In fact, at Thanksgiving, my daughter's mother-in-law made one, and I had more than my share.
Your mom's recipe? Okay. It's nice when you have recipes that you can hand down. Little white balls with ground almonds, flour, butter, put powdered sugar when warm. Okay, those sound lovely too. Ground almonds. That's almost like a marzipan, then, isn't it? Ground almonds. Those sound lovely.
And do those kind of like melt in your mouth when you put them in your mouth? They sound like,
Hi, Belinda. Welcome, welcome. Whoa! I just had a my peace post decided to take a dive. Yeah, yeah. I know I should be working on you. Something went off the other side there. I have no idea what it was. Wow. I am doing. Jean was teaching me how to do watercolors.
okay, that's what I thought. Mexican wedding cookie.
Those sound good.
They are. Oh my gosh.
I bought some watercolors and I made my paint palette on a CD because I could. That's what I had. So now we're just doodling and chatting and visiting. Elisa wants to put a recipe. That's a good idea to put a recipe book together. Um, my big thing was, the family enjoys rouladen and it's picky to make. Neither of my daughters are really fond of touching raw meat, raw beef. So I'm, fortunate that I have my eldest grandson who was very interested in learning to do them. So Linda's little white balls, excellent, Dad, excellent. Um, my grandson and his girlfriend helped us make rouladen. So it was amazing. It took us 1 hour to do 8 dozen. It usually takes Ron and I a couple of hours. I'm just cleaning up the mess that I created over here.
I don't think I really have any special recipes. My banana nut bread I make from my mom's recipe. But Kennedy told somebody one day on her cheer team, the day I went to watch her cheer, she says, "That's my grandma. She makes the best banana nut bread." So, I have to make it all the time for her.
Yeah. Well, it's my younger daughter that's really like, I didn't realize the whole family likes the meringues. I had no clue. But my younger daughter, that was what she would ask for her birthday and everything. So, yeah, it went really fast, Jan. It was amazing because we even bought slab bacon, so we sliced everything. We did the beef, the bacon, and the onions. We sliced it all, and then put them together. It was wonderful. It's wonderful having kids that are interested in, you know, learning that kind of stuff.
I think I'm cooking a turkey this weekend. I don't know for sure, but I think so. We our deep freeze went out and we had to buy a new one. So Gary says, "Well, let's just fix this turkey, that he had to buy." So we got this like 15-pound turkey and for the two of us.
Nice. Well, my older daughter does the turkey. My younger daughter does the ham. I do the meatballs, the cabbage rolls, and the roulade. So lots of meat. Lots of meat at our Christmases. Meringue cookies? Yes. We do. We call them polka dot meringues. We use chocolate chips in them. And my mom used to make them this, a 4-inch circle or a 3-inch circle with a hollow in the center and bake them. And then we would have ice cream and drizzled with a fruit cocktail sauce on top. And that was our Christmas desserts. But she always made like the hi Susie, welcome, welcome. Always made, just the cookies with the chocolate chips in them. And here, we're really lucky. We can buy cartons of egg whites, and it's strictly egg whites. It doesn't have anything else added to it. So I usually buy half quart, pint, whatever it is, of egg whites. It holds 15 egg whites, and that's what I use for making meringues instead of going through a lot, because I make a double batch. That's 6 eggs. You throw out 6 yolks. It's just as easy to do this, and then I use the egg white, the rest of it in omelets and stuff.
Hi, Susie. You know what sounds good to me? Some divinity.
Divinity fudge.
Oh, yeah.
See, I've never really made fudge. Jan's daughter makes fudge. Her younger daughter makes fudge.
I like fudge, and I can do pretty good fudge. But I don't do divinity. If I find it for sale, I usually just buy it. It's not an easy fudge.
I can send you the recipe, Anne. All it is sugar, egg white, and cream of tartar. I know that you have a daughter who has allergies, but I could easily send you the recipe for it. Oh, you're welcome. I'll do it when we're done the live. I have a friend in Pittsburgh who makes they're muffins, but they're almost done like an angel food cake. It's all egg whites. She sent me the recipe for it. Can't find where I put it because it's somewhere safe. We had this discussion. Um, but she sent it to me in the mail. She physically wrote it out for me, and it is here someplace, you know. But anyway, I told her that I can get cartons of egg whites here, and she had no idea that that kind of thing existed. So I figure if we get it here, you guys should be able to get it there. That one's got that. That's got that. You can eat egg whites. Awesome. Oh, are you allergic to eggs? Yeah. Yes, men are here. I can move them forward a little bit. I actually have room today. And yep, that's there too. Touch wood. I haven't spattered him with paint yet. Yeah, I wonder if my sister could eat egg whites. No, my sister's allergic to eggs. She can't get the flu shot because it's got egg white in it. I think I'll try that over here. Oh, yay, the terrible twos. Here we go. Here we go. And how old are your twins going to be, Jean?
They'll be 2 in March.
Ah, pretty much the same age.
Yep, little devils they are.
Do they kind of egg each other on?
Actually, they have just, since they went to daycare, started going to daycare, they've just started really playing with each other. They've never been interactive with each other.
Yeah,
They just like live their own lives. Erin was kind of disappointed. She thought they'd be closer. And I said they may still be when they grow up a little bit, but they're
yeah,
completely different. Avery can entertain herself for hours,
yeah.
literally hours, and Gavin has to be next door to Mama 24/7
Ah,
or
that's
clutching
that's
on Mama.
that's cute when little boys are that attached to their moms. My next door neighbors, when he was her oldest one was about 3. He said, "Mom, when you're old and you have no teeth, I will chew your food for you." So I like these little mama boy stories. They just make me laugh. But he also went through a phase when he was 3 that he refused to eat at the table. He wanted to eat on the floor like the dog did, would only have eat out of a dish on the floor. I love kids.
Well, Riley is kind of a grandma's boy. When he has an argument with his mom and dad, I'm the first person he calls.
That's awesome.
He actually said that it was okay if the twins weren't as close to grandma's as he wanted them to be.
Well, I'm drawing a blank for doodles here today. Oh my goodness.
I have been for a while, and I've pulled up doodles, and everything looks the same to me.
I know.
Circles and lines, circles and lines.
Although I did see, because I had Instagram on earlier. Where is that? There was a really cool doodle and I copied it and I put it over beside me here and I can't find it. Isn't that always the case in my life? I want to show you guys something and it's nowhere to be found. Nowhere. Huh. It was done on a circle and it was kind of like this. This one here.
Uh huh.
And it was really, really interesting because they shaded it after and oh well. I have no idea where it is. None whatsoever.
So here's my watercolor dry now.
Oh, I like that one. And I can see where you say that, you outlined the differences in the colors.
Yeah.
Mine weren't. Like the first few I did were just too sporadic. Like there wasn't really clear definition. These ones are
That,
better.
to me, that's part of the doodle process because then it doesn't overwhelm me with huge areas to fill in.
Yeah.
And I do these just like any of my other doodles. You got to have the light and the dark, and I like to have a solid black something in there somewhere. A checkerboard, maybe, things like that.
Yeah, see that's what I was thinking of doing on the thick black was taking the white gel pen and doing almost like a checkerboard on it. Just not sure. Sorry if that pump was very loud. I'm not sure why it's running. There's should be no reason why it was running. But you live in the country, your pumps go at odd times.
I recall that. We used to live in the country. We,
Lob.
we actually still have the farm. My nephew called me today and he says, Aunt Jeannie, Mom hasn't said anything to you about this, but I really want to buy the farm. And I'm like, you really need to talk to your uncle about that.
Yeah.
He's the one who's working on it, he's the one who's taking care of it. He wants to live there too, so I don't know.
I'm not using a fountain pen. This is a stick pen. This is a dip. Um, different nib things. Jean is using a fountain pen.
Yeah.
Oh, how sensitive. Like, is she putting up a fuss if you say no to her, or yeah? I think I'm gonna have to come in with some pencil crayon and do some shading.
Hang on, Bella. Hang on.
No, it's a dip. It just dips. Just a dip pen. I am absolutely drawing blanks for the doodles. Oh, Sherry, I didn't see that you sent me something. Hang on, I need to look.
I kept hearing a whining, and I thought, Kim, do you have a dog?
No, I
I
don't.
didn't
Not
think
anymore.
so. It was Bella. She was itching. Her toenail got stuck in her hair.
Oh no, poor baby. Sherry, Sherry. Are you still here, hon? I just looked at your mushroom robot. He turned out really cute. Sherry's doing that Defemember, whatever the heck that thing is. Um, and her prompt was mushroom robot the other day. And so she was asking for ideas and she just sent me a picture of her mushroom robot. It's really cute. It turned out really, really well.
Cool.
Oh, Jan, that's brutal. Oh, yeah, it's going to be an interesting go. I don't remember my kids being that sensitive. I know that they didn't want hats on or whatever a lot of times, but I don't remember them putting up major fuss about it.
Gavin, the minute you can put his shoes and socks on and walk him to the car, put him in there. Go get Avery, put her in the car, and he's got his shoes and socks off already.
That would be me. That's my kids too. For some reason, nobody in our family likes shoes and socks.
And you know, when it comes winter time and it's time for shoes and socks, I am ready.
Oh, I still don't like shoes and socks. I mean, a lot of times I'll run out to the shop barefoot still. She'll only wear the hat you made her. That is excellent. Doesn't that make your heart sing, Jan? That's cool. Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm. For some reason, I haven't been on a real great doodle binge lately. You know how you go through phases?
Uh huh.
I seem to be drawing blanks for my doodles lately. Maybe I need to do some Zentangling, like um, look at some Zentangles.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, if you stop and think about it, what are doodles? Squares, circles, lines.
Yeah,
I just can't come up with a new way to put them together.
yeah, that's just it. So, anybody who has decided that they would like to try watercolor on poster board, once you come to the doodles, because there's really no tooth on the shiny side of the poster board, maybe I should have used the back. Because I'm finding that I really have to have the pen super loaded with ink for it to draw. I don't know. Oh, nice. Another hat. That's good. Yeah, some little people are sensitive like that. Your mother-in-law used to go on and on about your brother-in-law's kids that didn't wear shoes inside the house. She kept saying they were going to get pneumonia. It was Arizona, no chance of cold feet. You know, that's really interesting, Anne, because my older daughter detested shoes. Absolutely detested shoes from the time we started putting shoes on her. And so I mentioned it to her doctor. And he says, you know what? Shoes are just a protective covering. If they don't want to wear shoes, don't bother putting shoes on. And it was the same thing about feeding. Like I loved that doctor. He was absolutely amazing. That I asked him like, should she be eating this much? And he goes, she's your kid. You know when she's hungry. I don't live with her. You're the mom. And that really opened my eyes. That yes, I lived with her, and no, she didn't want to eat whatever. So I didn't make her eat it. I didn't make her wear shoes unless it was winter time. She had to have boots on. But the rest of the time, no, I just let her be. Just let her be.
Well, the twins are in their diaper 90% of the time they're home.
Yeah.
They like to be naked. Avery likes to run around in circles and run around the island in the kitchen, and then she'll stop and rub her belly, and then she'll run again, and she'll stop and rub her belly.
Yeah, kids love to be naked. They really do.
I could probably handle it if I didn't have to see myself in a mirror.
Yeah, I can understand that one. It's like, ooh, not pretty, Kim. It's just not pretty.
I'm having trouble coming up with doodles too today.
Yeah.
I've done my normals. Oh, I forgot my funky little swirlies and some black and white swirlies. So maybe I'm not.
I just don't know.
I think you're going to be surprised when you take the tape off.
Yeah. When
You're
in
gonna,
doubt, fill in with dots or circles. Yep, I get you. I may come just down to that. Okay. Linda sent me her pictures of her blob monsters.
cool.
Awesome job of it. Yeah. So it's nice to see that other people are trying out some ideas. I really appreciate that people share with me. I like it. That's it, Jean. We were supposed to be doing robots. When are we doing robots?
I don't know.
Guess now we got to wait till the new year.
I don't know. I forgot about robots.
You forgot about robots? Who are you? What have you done with my friend?
I don't know. Remember, I'm retired.
Oh, yeah, right. Right, right. Okay, I'm going to let this sit for a minute. I'm going to show you the other master boards I was working on. So, of course, they still need a lot of embellishment. I've just kind of got up to a certain stage with them. These are the ones I did on the napkin guts. Like you can see,
Oh, cool.
I really like the way that worked on the napkin guts. I'm trying to use up stuff and make masterboards, and then I'm chopping them up for inchies, twinchies, because starting in January on Tuesdays, I'm doing tutorials. Well, not necessarily tutorials, but my way of doing pockets and tags and whatever, right? We have a whole list that we're going to be going through. This one, I used I don't know how well you can see it, but I actually used glitter paint on it. So there's bright, bright green glitter paint on there. Like I say, it still needs like some little stamps or something on, or some
Bella,
doodles.
you're such a good girl. Yes, you are. She went outside and went potty without me telling her to.
Excellent.
Not that that's going to happen a lot, but once is a good thing.
It is. It is. It is. Tired and retired? Yeah, I get that one. I actually slept in until after 8 today. Mind you, I was up until 2, so I guess that's kind of understandable, but been staying up lately. You've gotten started with 2 masterboards? Book pages are down? Yeah, that's the thing, right? Getting the book page down. And you don't have to put the book page down. You could do paint, you know, there's so many different ways of doing masterboards. But I have so many book pages that I have to use up that that's the way I'm doing these. Also trying to see if I can actually like neutral colors. It's not working. Sorry. It's just not working.
But maybe you should try it in a different direction, like neutral colors with a touch of color. One
Well,
color.
that's what I was trying. Like I, put just book pages down and it's like, yeah, nope. Boring. I don't know why I have such a problem like whites, neutrals. Yet, like I say, I love black and white. No, 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 no understanding to why.
I like black and white, but I like color
Yeah,
just as much. But black and white makes the color pop. And I
exactly.
am, like I said, I'm working on. In fact, I bought a couple of inexpensive paint palettes to get some different colors.
Right,
Of course, I'm getting what I pay for. They're not the best paints,
right.
but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Of all the colors I've tried, I have one where I pulled out I've made a brownie rose color and a real pale turquoise and
Brownie rose like a dusty rose.
yeah, and I actually like that color scheme. I can't make those colors again now, so
I haven't had a chance to look yet, Belinda. My brother was here, and then Ron and I watched a series. We actually watched TV. It was just bizarre because neither of us watched TV. Um, and then I slept in this morning, and yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I promise. Belinda sent me a link to watch a new, or not necessarily new, but a different creator, and need to do that. Okay, so I don't know if I want to do. What I'm doing is I am leaving one piece totally undoodled. Now I don't know if I want to do which one I want to leave undoodled. just don't know. I think I'll leave that one.
Look, my little doodle turned into a little bug. It's a
You
little
made a
bug
little
on
bug?
my page.
Little doodle bug?
Yep.
Awesome. He's cute. Wow, I can't draw very straight lines. Guess it doesn't really matter. Hmm. Oh, it's okay. Doodlebug was your dog's nickname? Awesome. What was I watching? I can't even remember what I was watching. But somebody had a dog named Lugnut. And I thought that was an excellent name for a dog.
I woke up at 4:30 this morning.
Ugh,
I
brutal.
did go to bed before 10 though. Not that I mean that's still too early.
Yeah,
But
but you're not feeling good either.
yeah, the CPAP and I were not getting along.
Ah,
I was having trouble breathing with a runny nose, and yeah. I thought I might take a nap today, but I don't know. I might go sit on the couch and fall asleep. I like to do that.
I
It's
used
not a
to.
good sleep, but I still like to do it.
Yeah, I used to do that. I am just using green painter's tape. Now the trick is going to be, because this is poster board. What were we doing the other day? Oh, those trees. And when I pulled the tape off, it lifted the paper. We're going to see what happens now. Here we go. Tape's coming off. Ooh. Ah. Oh. Gotta have the sound effects.
I know. I make them make yourself big so we can watch.
Oh, okay.
I even make the sound effects when it's just me here pulling off the tape.
Yeah, me too. But then we had this discussion. I narrate usually when I do stuff. Okay, here we go. So I pulled the center one off. Ooh.
Ah.
Oh. Here we go. Doing the edge. Doing the edge. I wrapped it around. Don't know why, but I did. This is coming off this paper really nicely.
That's good.
Famous last words, though, guys. Like, don't hold me to it. I just like use poster board for watercolor all the time. Just right. Okay, there was a little bleed under there. Obviously, I didn't push the tape down hard enough. Heat gun, loosen the tapes. Yeah, I have a heat gun, but it's out in the shop. And because of the way my desk is set up, I think it could be really hazardous to have a heat gun down here because I don't have any place safe to put it down. Last
Mine's
one.
just in a cup on the shelf beside me.
There we go. My first watercolor and doodle.
So it's a whole lot different than what you thought it was going to be, isn't it?
It is. It is.
I don't know what those lines do, the white lines, but it just makes it a statement piece.
Yeah. Obviously, like I used the tape, but it's not exactly straight, which is okay. Yeah, no fires on the desk. That would be scary.
That's really pretty, Kim.
Especially because I'm in the basement and I would have to run up the stairs to get away from it. Wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. Well, thanks. That was a lovely learning process for me. I could see where I could have a lot of fun with watercolors. I am going to try it on book page. Of course, I won't be using tape on book page, but I see so many like Joni and her flowers and things.
Uh huh.
I think that I would like to try that on book page.
Now
Yeah, soft colors. Yeah, well,
you got to remember too, if you're using a book page, you don't want your paper so wet. It
yeah,
might be
yeah,
better to do wet on dry instead of wet on wet.
yeah, yeah. Kind of figured
I'm
that.
going to tell you something that I see in your page. I hope it doesn't ruin your whole thought.
It's okay.
Homer Simpson,
I have no idea where you see Homer Simpson.
the
Point him out.
bald head.
I don't. I don't see Homer Simpson.
Good, good. Okay, right there on,
Oh,
I assume your left hand?
this one's my left.
Okay, your right hand.
Okay, this is my right.
That heavy line goes up,
This one.
bald head goes on around, and it just looks like a Homer Simpson profile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can almost see it. Almost, almost, almost. See, I didn't put the white gel pen on because I was going to use white gel pen on the really thick lines. Let's see. I'm adding it. I probably should have done this before.
That's okay.
Oh,
It's
sharing. Sharing. I've got to share.
and see, sometimes when I'm working on something, I'll say, okay, these two are done. So I'll pull off just the tape on the two of them so I can see it. That's probably my favorite part of the whole thing.
Is
It's
taking
just
the tape
pulling
off.
up the tape.
Yeah, I could see where that would be thrilling. I liked it. I have to admit, I did like it. Well, I mean, I liked it when we were doing those pine Christmas trees, taking the tape off.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I like the white on the black, the thick black.
Yeah.
It just finishes it.
Yep. You're right. It does. I'm going to work on this after we get off and I will put it in your group.
Awesome. That sounds awesome. I started doing the doodles on the love or the peace post,
Uh huh.
but I'm getting to it. It's coming. It's slow, very slow, very slow. I have so many projects. I One of my things on my to-do list is I must finish at least one project a week. Eh, So I did finish two journals last this past week. I've got two done. I've got eight sitting over in a box behind me that are being the rainbow journal is now two of them because I'm putting bigger covers on because I liked the way it worked. I just couldn't get the what's it called, the string around to be tight enough or just to be perfect that it would slide. so that I could remove them and work on them. Um, so I want to do them on hardcover, like so. Then I will have two rainbow journals because that was, and even still, if I'm doing it as two, there could be huge journals,
Yeah.
huge journals. So I've got the journals on the desk beside me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I have this habit of when I clean, you know, I start these little piles of where they go, so everything gets to the right room. Then I
Yeah.
go to that room and I finish each room.
Yeah.
So I had the yesterday when I got the 5 boxes out from the auction. It was like, okay, I'm doing my studio next. So I went in there, and every horizontal surface is organized and cleaned. And I found several unfinished projects. And each one went in a bag with all the paper that went with it. It's going to be
Yep.
in a future sale for Defy
Oh, awesome.
because I did.
If I could do the shipping for that kind of thing, I would so love to do that. But I finished this one journal. Look how thick that is.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why I have to make such big stinking journals. That's going to be another thing that I'm going to try and learn in the new year is to make smaller journals.
Well, if my journals are going to someone else, I want to make them pretty empty.
Well, this is 2.5 inches. 2.5 inch spine, guys. I have no idea how many pages are in there, but it's. I've done a lot of hand painting, and this is where I say I need to learn to use die cuts and things because really, that's a lot of you know. Yeah. Anyway, that's a beast of a journal.
Yes, it is.
And then I finally finished that little envelope one that Janet Nash had first made. She did her all little envelopes attached and decorated. So I finally finished this one. I just have to put stuff in the tucks. And so, okay, this one isn't finished because it's not stuffed.
I had two of those that were those flip flop journals where they open one way and another way,
Yeah,
and they're pretty close to done. They need more stuff in the pockets and things like that. But I decided I don't want to do them. So
yeah. Well, I'm going to get these done. I don't know what I'm going to do with them when they're done. Like that big fat journal, that was actually supposed to be sent down to Care. I can't even imagine what the shipping on that would be. So
yeah,
I'm not sure that it's going to come your way or not.
yeah.
Just don't know. Oh, this is just finishing it right off, doing the white in the thick black. Belinda, your work is absolutely fine. You know, I know that you feel very conscious about it.
You can post anonymously in a in a Facebook group, or you could send it to me and I'll post it and tell them a friend of mine send it to me. I wanted to share it.
See, I can do that too.
I think you're done.
I could definitely do that too. Posting for a friend. So that goes for anyone who is not sure of posting stuff. Oh, this, you know what? I really like it now that I've added the white, which is weird.
No, it's not weird because everything popped together and tied up.
It did. It did. Even the gel pen's a little iffy. Not as bad as that silly scratch pen, so maybe I'll go to using gel pens on this, but
Oh, excuse me.
I mean, it squeaks. I can hear it squeak.
Does that drive you crazy?
No. One more. One more. What am I going to do on this one? So now, because this is on poster board, I guess I could use it for tags, cut so that there's still quite a bit of white outline. An anonymous art show would be a very fun idea. How about if we do that maybe like the last week in January or the last week of February? We could do it like a doodle thing, because everybody is being playing with their doodles. And if you send them to me, I will post them on Meet Your Creativity as an art show.
I like that idea. I think that would be good. Our art society here does their shows anonymously,
That's cool.
just while they're being judged.
Yeah, ours too was that way. I like it now, guys.
Well, I liked it before.
Do you remember that week long thing by Happy Crafter? What's her name? I know her name. Her last name's Curtis. Can't remember her first name. But anyway, she had the week long thing, and they had different presenters throughout the day, and we did different things.
Yes.
Right? That I can't remember the artist's name. Oh, look! I turned my light up. Turned the light back on. Sorry, guys. Had a bit of a flare there. What was her name? But she's the one that did the florals. Like you paint the page and you doodle the florals on it. I can't remember her name, but I really, really liked her stuff. I think that's the way I want to paint that wooden box and doodle it that way. This is my art journal. This is the one I do my prompt things when I play with, like Becca and stuff. Lots of learning things. This one, like that.
Cool.
Right? So I'm thinking that silly wooden box. It's not a silly wooden box. It's a beautiful wooden box. But on Tuesday we were talking about because we all put things in a safe place, that we should have a box that is titled Safe Place. So I was thinking maybe I will paint that box. Of course, I will do it in acrylic, not watercolor, but kind of like this kind of style, and then do that kind of doodling on it. And on the top, I could put in, I could do it on the Cricut vinyl lettering and put it safe place.
Okay, I'm ready to pull the tape.
All right, I'm making Jean big.
This has been on here for a while, and I
Oh,
find that
come
when the
on.
tape's been on for a while, it doesn't come off as easy.
It's coming nice.
I had a little bleed there too.
Yeah, I've got a few little bleeds.
It's okay. I still like it.
Yeah, life gets in the way of living, Anne. It really does.
Yep, it pulled up a little bit right there.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I got further without pull up than I thought I would.
The bleeding would irritate you after all the work. You know what? I'm not into perfection. I'm into what makes me happy. I can't do perfection.
See, if I took my pen and did my little doodling marks around it,
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
outline kind of thing, I think that would camouflage it. I have a couple Christmas trees that I have to do that too.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Me too. I really like it.
To me, the colors were kind of lumpy. Again, it was not the best paint. But
Yeah.
then after I've doodled on it, it's okay. It really is. I'm okay with it. I like it.
Yeah, I really like the way you doodle. I haven't been doodling much. I think that's a big part of my problem. That
I wish that I could afford, and I can afford it. I just don't want to spend the money for it. To have all of these that I've done framed and put them all on one wall, wouldn't
oh
that be an
yeah,
amazing display?
it would. It
And
would.
I'm not going to do that. I just don't see. I, it would look good, but that's not what I do the art for. I do it for the enjoyment of doing it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I had 2 pages taped together somehow.
Oh, you've got an extra page now. Ooh, game
Yeah.
on.
I'm really anxious to see how this one turns out. I did it in dark colors and then color penciled these squares.
You're fuzzy, hun.
Yeah, it's not doing too good. I'm anxious to see
I
how it.
like that.
It's different. It's definitely different.
See, I really like that. I like the geometric
Yeah,
pattern. I love geometric patterns. I don't know why.
it'd be kind of cool to pop some circles on there now.
It would.
Maybe using a white paint pen and just do this big white circle.
Yeah.
Nothing else to it. I don't know. I was just playing. This is that graphite paint palette that I said I had. So you can
Okay.
kind of see the little bit of green and a little bit of pink.
Yeah. Those are awesome though.
I like it. All I
Me
ever
too.
do is play. I don't
Yeah.
make anything out of it, but that's okay.
Yeah. Like, I mean, this I'm just going to probably tuck into my art journal. just a first watercolor play. You know.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
kind of what this whole thing is just a kind of art journal. This one I thought turned out really cool. I
I
wanted to
like.
just do something simple, and so these I cut out on my scan and cut out of sticker paper,
Oh, hey.
and I just watercolored around them, pulled them off, and then doodled. Well, I doodled over. I don't know if I left them on while I doodled or not. I don't know what I did. I really don't remember.
I love when I don't remember things.
Yeah,
I really, really do.
if I doodled over the things, then when I came back in, I put the lines back on.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So now I had taken another online painting course, and what the guy did was he would have like a piece of paper, your paper, and then he would. I'm going to just grab a piece here because it's okay, it's just paper. Then he would tape off a section. He would,
You're not on screen.
of course not, because I'm sure I've got you big. Okay, I'm going to join you now. Okay, so he would have his work that he was doing, and then he would tape off a section. Then he would take an X-Acto and cut shapes in it. And then take those parts out. And then he would put the water or another roll of paint on. So that it's like it's masked off, right? So you've got these shapes,
Uh huh.
but because they are no fingernails, I have no fingernails. I cut them really short. Um, so then he would cut out all these shapes and then paint, and it's very interesting
Cool.
that he would do. That's a pen, Kim. That's not a knife. You know, very, very like organic shapes, and I thought that was really kind of interesting the way that it worked
Cool.
out.
I want to show you a picture.
Okay,
This is my best friend. I painted this. It's alcohol inks,
okay.
and then I doodled it into flowers. And when I shared this on Instagram, she fell in love with it. She
I'm gonna
wanted to
make you
buy
big.
it.
I have to make you big.
Okay. She wanted to buy it, and when she came through about a week ago, well, no, it's been probably about a month ago, I gave it to her, and she went and had it framed, and that's what it looks like.
That is beautiful.
So I really like it. I hope it looks good in her house. She's kind of more classy, not mismatched, but I bet it looks really good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I really like
Well,
that. So how did you do that?
well, it's on Yupo paper, which is really good for alcohol inks.
Okay.
And some of it is brushstroke with alcohol, and some of it is just dropped and blown around. I tell you that Tim Holtz squeezy bulb thing that he has, that was the best thing art supply I've ever bought
Okay.
because I can make runs on purpose.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like texture. I like, you know, all that stuff. I mean, I do. But after I did this, it set for probably 2 years. And then I decided one day I wanted to finish drawing on it. And I went in and turned all the green into grasses and the colors into flowers. And
So did you do the grasses first and then the flowers on top? Like, or did you have it masked off?
oh no, there's no masking on it. I know that much. I think I probably did the flowers and then the green. Probably.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like I said, it was several years old before I even picked it up to do the lines, and it really is sketchy. I mean, it's sketchy, and I
Yeah.
still love it. Let's see.
Oh, I just love it. I absolutely love it.
So it was a lot of fun. And after I started doing some of the drawing and the lines and stuff, I may have went in with a little bit of alcohol and did a little more painting, to get it. But
Yeah.
I don't know that I did. I don't know that I didn't.
Right. Right.
And she says, "Well, you got to sign it." And I couldn't figure out where to sign it. So I signed it right up here because I,
Awesome.
I knew being framed it would disappear. So I just worked it in. So I
Oh, that's
really,
beautiful.
she offered to buy it even way back when, and I just wasn't willing to part with it. And it's funny because I gave it to her, and then when she got home, that's when she found out her mom went into hospice, and
Oh dear.
so yeah.
Yeah, alcohol inks bother me too. I have to make sure that I hold it well away from me when I'm doing it. I had played with kids watercolor like way back. I put it down on a piece of poster board, but then I took an air compressor and I sprayed it out. So I'm gonna figure out something to do with these. I've got, you know, stacks of that. That I have so much stuff. Oh my goodness. You know,
I do too. At least I have a place to get rid of some of my stuff.
you do. You do. I have I don't know. I was thinking of putting like a little free gallery at the end of my driveway
Yeah,
and but I mean, we live on a residential street. Not everybody's going to come and take stuff, you know?
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, now I see that one that you did with the grasses. And so now I'm thinking that if I took my black gel pen to this,
Uh huh.
because it'll be faster. But maybe before I do that, I will take some acrylic paint and do some florals in it.
Yes. Acrylic paint would be good because you wouldn't reactivate the watercolor as fast. It will, so you want to work pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I mean, I was just thinking of doing um, like colored circles and then doodling them,
Yeah.
like wherever that page went with my art book. You know, just do like a big blob of color and then turn it into floral kind of
Uh
thing.
huh.
Maybe not quite that big. But oh, I just love that you did, Jean. I really, really did. I had cleared off that table beside me. It is now a foot and a half high from between this and doing those master boards. You guys are a bad influence on my cleaning habit that I don't have, that I should actually develop. And
Oh,
then look at this pretty water. Look at the, you don't normally get like this. It almost looks like grapefruit juice. Does it leave color? Not, oh, it does just really a light hint of color.
Yep.
Oh, you know, I might.
Then there's mine.
A lot of times, what I do is I use my muck water for edgings and things. But because I've got this much, maybe I will actually dye some book pages.
There you go.
I asked for it. I love you, Jan. I know. I have no idea where a lot of these ideas come from. No idea. But it's just like I see something and then I have to run with it my way. You know, it's the way it goes. But yeah, I might dye some pages, book pages, because I can.
Yep, that's right, because I can.
Because I can. And I will find a use for them because I do. All right. So thank you very much for all your help, Jean, and your ideas and sharing. Thank you guys for watching and big hugs to you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Sunday, possibly. Well, hopefully I will be here. I hope they don't hit our internet again, but you know, it will be what it will be. Thanks, guys. Big hugs. And we will see you soon. Take
Bye,
care
all.
now, everybody.